aspect, there is a black woman in America that has a pussy that was in existence before the creation of time. You see. And a black man that has a dick that was in existence before the creation of time. And it is the government to make sure that even if you come together economically, socially, you see what I'm saying? You will be at odds and you will be in such a struggle. You see what I'm saying? That you will never be able to tap into that higher self. Or, if you got too much money, that's still a distraction. Because you will be forever, number one, trying to keep it, or number one, trying to see what you can buy, or number one, thinking that in actuality you are bored because you have missed the point that you had it all before the money, and the money can never bring you things. So it's always some kind of confusion that's actually going, this actually going down. You see, even to the point we get this particular book by Crowley called Atlantis, one of the few books that they don't print. And ironically, they print a lot of his stuff, but they don't print this particular book. It's a small book. It would be cheaper to produce, but they don't print it for the mere fact that he said that the word Atlantis means the black woman on the second page of the book. You see, which means that if we are the ones to love, we will tap into our primordial selves. And by doing that, we can change this shit. You see, we can change this thing. I'll give you some clarity on that in a minute. And that has something to do with Krishna and Radha. Now, Krishna goes with Radha. Radha is a married woman. Well, first of all, someone said, well, man, what kind of religion is that? That the fundamental hero or the Christ figure in the religion will be going with a married woman. First of all, they're not talking about moralism. Number two, because moralism is political and has nothing to do with spiritual. Number two things is happening. Number one, Krishna is a god, so he is not on the level of moralism. He is the Godhead. Number two, Radha is trapped in a marriage that is a social marriage that can function based on the laws and the governments of man, but it's not a spiritual marriage, so it can ultimately never go anywhere, but just on the social level. Krishna comes in and frees her. But how is this done? How is it done? This is another book you can get called David R. Kinsley's book, The Sword and the Flute, by David R. Kinsley. Well, number one, this love has a lot to do because by her being married, they don't have a lot of time together. They know that the time that they have to spend together is not spread out, it's intense. You know, it's intense. So they don't have a lot of time to be wasting when it comes to this love that they have, where they have distractions because they're just this regular couple. You see what I'm saying? That's got a whole lot of time on their hand. When they come together, it's extremely intense. And it's intense because they know that time is the factor. She cannot be with him the whole time. So by it being so intense, they go into a realm of bliss. And by going into a realm of bliss, they create something outside of the ordinary love, which is this alternative dimension that even in the text, some of the people or the whole society that surrounds them shares in this bliss, in this enchanted world that they have built, which is the hereafter. See, same story on how this thing is done. So they know, the government again knows, that if we get a certain amount of black people to really tap into this primordial essence called love, the true love, not the one that society says, one that is beyond money, material things, and beyond life itself. If they can get one to tap into that love, then it will create an entire society and a dimension around those two lovers that the entire community, in this particular case, the primordial beings, the original people, will benefit from by destroying the matrix. And this is what Christian and Radha does in the text. At first, she sneaks off at night into the enchanted forest to be with him. Then it gets to the point where, and then not only that, when she cannot be with him, she sets up this longing for him that generates more energy. So sometimes longing is great, you see, because it generates more energy. So when they come together again, the energy is even stronger than when they were before. And each time they are building sections into this new world of the bringing in this energy into this new world. So it's almost like having this corrupt, illusionary, fallen world. And these two souls come together, which represent, if this world is a globe and we're on the inside of the globe, or a balloon, and it's a fallen balloon, a globe. And these two souls would represent two pinpoints or needles in the balloon. And although the balloon is tough enough not to burst, each time they come together, the hole gets bigger and bigger, and light comes in and shines into the troubled world. That later on, the troubled world, when the hole gets big enough, it explodes. And they are into a whole new realm. This is what we're talking about here today. More than just male and female relationships. We're talking about the metaphysics of this shit transforming our people. You see what I'm saying? This is what we're talking about here. And that's what happens with the Krishna and Radha story. Get the book, like I said, The Sword and the Flute by David R. Kingsley, which goes to the lingam and the yoni. The lingam and the yoni. The lingam is the penis and the yoni is the vagina. Now, you will see pictures in ancient symbology. Now draw this. Of a snake biting its tail. This is called the Buros of the great round of the first day. This means that one is the beginning and one is the end, the completion. So in the beginning there's the yoni, but then again in the beginning there's the penis, because it pierces the darkness. Either way, it sets up this great round. Now, the concept here is that both Krishna and Radha, or the earlier myth Shiva and Shakti, or Shiva and Parvati, is that the lingam of Shiva, which is the penis, and the yoni of Parvati or Shakti, which is the vagina, is two separate ends of the complete universe. And when they meet, they can change what structure in the universe that's gone astray. Here goes again why we can never meet. And when we do, it can't be a certain amount of energy. We can meet sexually, but If anybody's ever been in love,